The goods for which zakat is not given are called havayik asliya. These are considered essential goods. Let's illustrate this for better understanding. What is a house? It is part of havayik asliya, meaning zakat is not given on it. If you own a second house that is not for commercial purposes, does zakat apply to it? No, zakat does not apply to that either. Even if you own 10 non-commercial houses, zakat does not apply to them. A car? No zakat applies. A plot of land? No zakat applies unless it was purchased for resale. The moment you buy a plot for resale, its classification changes. We will cover that shortly. Do household furniture, carpets, or dishes require zakat? No. Zakat is not required for personal property. Zakat is not required on used goods. Havaish asliya does not mean essential goods. It refers to items in actual use. Why do I say this? Because the items used by a poor person and a wealthy person are not the same. People often ask, but his car is very luxurious. Shouldn't zakat apply to it? No, zakat does not apply because its luxury status does not make it a trade commodity. It remains a used item. Therefore, regardless of whether a person lives a luxurious life, zakat does not apply to the goods they use. Goods subject to zakat. Key criterion is whether the goods have numayilur, meaning the ability to grow, develop, or generate income. We previously mentioned that zakat is not required for personal use items. However, if a house is used for trade, it is considered to have numayilur since it generates wealth. Such a property will require zakat. Let's clarify with examples. A person needs only a 3-room house but lives in a 10-room house. Is zakat required for the extra 7 rooms? No, because they are being used. Another important point is that a 10-room house in a village cannot be compared to a 3-room house in a city. Likewise, a 3-room house in a luxury neighborhood is not the same as a 3-room house in a poor neighborhood. Therefore, we must follow the criteria set by Islamic law rather than our own reasoning. For example, a person has a house to live in and another house rented out. Does zakat apply to these? No, because the first is for personal use, and while the second generates income, it is not considered numayilur. However, if the rental income exceeds the nisab threshold, 80 grams of gold, then zakat must be paid on the income, not the house itself. Now, let's consider a real estate agent who owns several houses for sale. These houses are considered numayilur because they have the capacity to generate wealth. Therefore, zakat applies to them. Another example. A factory owner has machinery such as a lathe machine. Is zakat required on the lathe machine? No, because it is classified as a fixed asset. While it produces goods, it is not itself numayilur. However, if the business profits exceed 80 grams of gold, zakat is required on the profit, not the machinery. For instance, if someone owns $1 million factory filled with machinery, zakat is not required on the machinery itself. Otherwise, if zakat were deducted from capital assets, businesses would collapse. Islam encourages productivity, as evident in these rules. Similarly, rental properties are exempt from zakat because Islam encourages home ownership and renting to others. The rental income, however, is subject to zakat if it exceeds the nisab threshold. Let's consider a person who owns a $50 million cargo ship. If they still owe $1 million on it, zakat does not apply. Why? Because Islam wants the ship to be operational, transporting goods, creating jobs, and supporting the economy. This principle applies widely. Islam aims to keep wealth in circulation, ensuring productivity rather than imposing zakat on capital assets directly. This logic is essential to understanding Islamic economic principles. Esteemed viewers, today we have explored an important topic together. The most valuable knowledge is that which leads one to the truth and provides guidance in life. I sincerely hope that this discussion has been beneficial for you. To stay informed about our future content, do not forget to subscribe to our channel and enable notifications. You are welcome to share your thoughts and questions in the comments. Hoping to meet again in our next broadcast, I leave you in the peace, mercy and blessings of Allah.